Welcome to another episode of NFL Football Jerseys TV. Got the Super Bowl episode here. We're going to break down the game, look at a bunch of different stats, try to figure out who's going to win this thing. The consensus pick is, Colts are going to win it. It might not be an easy game, but Colts are going to win. But you start looking at the stats, start breaking down things, I don't know if it's as clear-cut as that. So let's just jump right into it. Start with the quarterbacks. Peyton Manning, best quarterback on the planet. Potentially best quarterback of all time. He is that good. If you look at the stats this year, rating-wise, Breeze 109.6, Manning 99.9. Breeze is higher rated. Manning had more yards, 4,500 to 4,388. TDs, Breeze 34, Manning 33. Interceptions, this one surprised me. Manning had 16, Breeze only 11. I thought Breeze would have more of those than Manning. Yards per attempt, 8.54 for Breeze, 7.88 for Manning. Yards per game, actually Breeze had more. There was a couple games he didn't play, 293 to 281. Completion percentage, Breeze was 70.6, and Manning was like 68.8. So statistically speaking, I'd almost give this year to Breeze. Yet Manning did have a couple more yards, but in most other categories, Breeze hasn't beat out. So, yeah, in a lot of ways, Breeze was a better quarterback this year, just on paper. I mean, you start figuring out the intangibles, the experience, how amazing Manning is in general. I mean, if his team needs to win a game, he's going to drive him down to get the win. So, I would probably give the quarterback edge to Manning, just because he's amazing. But it's not super clear-cut. Breeze is probably the second best quarterback in the league right now. Start looking at running backs. Colts, bad running game. They only averaged 81 yards a game on the ground, where the Saints had 132. That's like a 50-yard difference. That's huge in the NFL. Defensively, they both give up about the same. Saints give up 122 yards a game. Colts 127. You look at Pierre Thomas, Mike Bell, and Reggie Bush. They got three solid running backs who were all different styles, get yards in different ways. Where for Indianapolis, you got Joseph Adai, who carried the bulk of the load this year. Donald Brown showed some flashes, but he had some injuries he dealt with. Got to give the running game edge to the Saints. It's not even close there. Start talking about receivers. Colts are a lot more top-heavy. They got Reggie Wayne, who had 100 catches, Dallas Clark, who had 100 catches. So they're top-notch. They're better than like Colston, who had 70, Devery Henderson had 51. Start getting down in the second tier. You got players like Pierre Garçon and Austin Collie going against Meacham and Shockey. But even lower than that, Saints had 9 players with more than 10 catches. The Colts only had 6. As far as total overall receiving depth, quality running backs receiving, all that stuff, Saints aren't looking too far behind, but you got to give the edge to Wayne and Clark there. They're going to get the majority of the catches. They're going to get the majority of the looks. And Austin Collie and Pierre Garçon have been great this year, too. Defense, other than takeaways, it's pretty close. The Colts allow fewer yards, but it's only like 20 per game, which can be significant, but it's not a huge difference. They hold opponents to like 2.2 points less per game, 307 to 341 over the season. But takeaways is the biggest difference here in defense. The Saints had 39 takeaways this year. That's 26 interceptions, 13 fumble recoveries, turnover differential of plus 11. Colts, only 26, 16 interceptions, 10 fumble recoveries. That's only a plus 2. And pretty much any coach, any analyst, anybody will tell you, turnover differential is huge. Huge in the NFL. So, who am I going to pick? I think I'm going to pick the Saints to win. I think, they got a great team. They got a great defense, great running game, great quarterback. They got a good coach. I think that they're going to be able to do it. I think the Colts are a great team, but, the running game is pretty weak. They won't be able to control the ball. But then again, they had games like Miami where they barely have the ball and still won. But I think the Saints are going to take it. I think they're going to be able to pull this game out. It's going to be close. It's pretty much a toss-up. I don't really have any huge, strong convictions either way. But I like what the Saints are doing. I like how they've looked the past couple playoff games. So And just so you know, on our site we have all sorts of different Saints and Colts Super Bowl hats and shirts and jackets and jerseys and most any other thing you can slap a logo on. So go get your AFC and NFC Championship gear now and your Super Bowl gear. And coming Monday, you can either get your Colts Super Bowl gear or your Saints Super Bowl gear, whoever you're rooting for. So have a great week, and we will be back next week with a wrap-up of the Super Bowl and all of the festivities. So thanks for watching. Go buy a jersey.